Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Wednesday, March 7th, 2018. That's just about 12:20 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Here is my new modem. Yeah, let's see if we can show the little lights there. The lights aren't nearly as prominent on this one as on the old one. Yeah, there we are. Been a bit of a saga this morning. It's a Netgear CM500 high-speed cable modem. I guess it handles stuff up to 680 megabits per second. Here's what it replaced. I got this, I bought this actually from Insight when they installed the original cable service here back in, it'll be November of 2012. But it decided to die on me here. Plus, why can't all these modem and router makers come up with like standard, power adapters so you don't have to have about 80 of these things lying around the house? Yeah, that's a suggestion for you dudes. Meanwhile, you can see my 1A volt area right here is scabbed over fairly reasonably well now, and sort of the autologous skin graft effect seems to have taken hold. And then I changed the dressing on this thing this morning, and it's more or less sort of along like the smaller area, but given its location, anytime this thing's going to get broken open if I don't keep it covered for another 4 days, maybe even a week. So, bit of overkill, but prevents instances of unhappy Joe. So as always, there's always a bit of a saga involved in any of this kind of stuff. My internet went out around 11:30, between 11 and 11:30 yesterday morning. Well, that's always an interesting exercise in, enforced self-denial, let's put it that way. It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't look at YouTube. I can't make a video. I can't read the Wall Street Journal. I can't read the Daily Mail. I can't read the Daily Telegraph. I can't look at my porn. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I ended up watching a couple of DVDs of a couple of TV series that I've purchased or have been given to me actually. So I mean, I managed to fill in my time. I'd already done my allotted CME questions for the day. I'm doing my annual New England Journal of Medicine Review CME program that I do every year in March to get my 50 hours of CME that I need to do to keep my Ohio license. So I'd done that, and then I did that, and then all of a sudden I went to do my usual, internet-y stuff that I do in the morning, because I do this before I do anything on the internet. Because I know if I don't, I won't get them done. And the internet went out. So I called. I waited around 2 o'clock in the afternoon to call, because there had been some wind, and my son said his internet was out. All right, I figured it's going to be one of these general outage things. No, there are no general outages in your area. And so then they launch into the boilerplate about how to reset your modem and your router and this. And so you just keep punching in zeros till they'll direct you to a human being. And I got to, as always with Time Warner or Spectrum or whatever it's calling itself nowadays, you get a very nice human being that sounds like they're actually right downtown. And they said, oh, we'll just make it we can have a guy out there this afternoon. I said, great. So he'll be here between 4 and 5. Fine. So about almost 5 o'clock, I get a call from the service guy. He says, well, I could come out. He says, I could check everything, but it seems now there are more outages in your area, and so I'm sure I'm not going to get the thing to do any better for you. So just, call us back if, it's still out after, whenever. So I called Time Warner again. Spectrum. And they said, oh, there's now more outages in your area. Okay, fine. And I woke up at midnight and I called them again. And they said, there's a general outage in your area and we'll call you back as soon as things are back and running. Fine. So around 9:30 this morning, I get a call which says, internet service has been restored in your area. All right. Well, not this area anyway, it seems like. So I call them again. And I get this really, I always get, as I said, I get extremely pleasant, helpful people with this outfit. I know some people haven't had that experience, but I've always had that experience. And he says, I can see your modem, but your modem isn't working. He says, I can't even get it to return a signal. He says, I know it's there, but I can't get it to return a signal. I don't know how that works, but anyway, they apparently do. He said, you're going to have to get a new modem. I said, turns out I have one. Because I'd bought this Netgear CM500 thing about a little over a year and a half ago. It's kind of a backup. I thought, well, if this thing goes out, or if I want to, actually pay for faster internet speed, I'll need a better modem. And as I said at the sort of little intro clip, this thing will handle up to 680 megabits per second. And it, and it meets the stuff, and it's even listed that, it's good for Time Warner and stuff. So he was very patient. He waited while I, got the thing out and hooked the thing up, and and I said, do you see it? He says, yeah. He says, it's going to take a while to, get working. It takes a while for these things to get happy. And it did. It took about 10 minutes. 7 minutes. And eventually we're ready to go. And he says, well, see if you can get on the internet. And so I went to Chrome, and I went then to my YouTube channel. It's like, wham! There I am. I was like, wham! There you are. I said, you weren't kidding. It's faster. He said, yeah, you should get. He was saying you're going to get between 60 and 100 down and 10 going up. And I said, great. You know, of course, I'm thinking to myself, well, we'll just see about that. So I went to one of these. Let's say I went to Speed for like Speed for me.me, something like that. And it doesn't try to stick malware on your machine like Speed Test Net does. And it uses HTML5 rather than Flash. Well, because they say, oh, you have to install Flash. Well, of course, that's how they try to stick malware on your computer when they have you install Adobe Flash Player from any site other than the Adobe site. And Softonic is notorious for that. Any of these websites that tell you you're going to have to reinstall Flash, you know, they're just lying to you. It turns out it's like it was 64 down and 11 up. So I'm going to be interested to see how fast this video uploads. That still keeps us way, way behind the UK because, you know, you can get routinely over there, they have like 50 up, even in the most humble hovel. They have, you know, it's like, that's the slowest speed over there, about 50 up. Lord knows how fast the download speeds are. Good grief. I can't say I was all that impressed with the download speeds over there, but I was impressed with the upload speeds. You know, something that would take me 2 hours to upload over here, I could put up in 10 to 15 minutes. 20 at the most. Well, okay, so this guy fixed me up. Now it turns out my son is still, he said his came back on and it was fine for about maybe 20 minutes and then it slowed way down again. So he's going to have the guy come out and you know, see what to do about all this. So I guess it wasn't just wind damage. I mean, it just coincidentally my RCA router or modem chose to die on me right when they were having service outages anyway. Coincidences. The jokes of history. Meanwhile, we dodged a bit of a snow bullet. The weather hysterions were going, oh, you're going to have snow on Wednesday all day. No. It's just windy and nasty and cold. It's like 31. Yeah, I guess we're going to have a bit of a couple of weeks of, cold weather for March. Although March can be quite cold. I remember when I planted my trees back in like the third week in March in 1982. It was, that required me being on my knees out in the mud there for a while. It was like, 39, 40 degrees and wet. These things happen. Awful glad to have the trees though. Even if the ash beetles did get most of them. The ash trees anyway. The oaks and the pines are fine. We've still got about 4 ash trees left. I mean, big ones. I have lots of young ash trees because the beetles didn't want to eat anything with a trunk diameter of less than 3 inches. So. All right. Meanwhile, the earth turns merrily along. So, I guess I'm going to say bye-bye YouTube.